Alrighty then. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Welcome to another video. Okay, it's after midnight. And it's nice and cool at my home. I'm in bed right now, getting ready to go to sleep. And I decided to do a video after midnight. That's right, it's an after midnight video. Okay, before I get into this video, I want to address some videos that I did on this channel. Videos about two women that I showcased in a video that I did showing that not all American women are good. And I think after that video I was called a misogynist or misogynistic. That's right, I'm misogynistic. And I was called that by some men who are white knights, Captain Save-A-Hoes, and simps. White knights, Captain Save-A-Hoes, white knights, Captain Save-A-Hoes, and simps. They came to the rescue of every single woman in the United States, and they condemned me in my video and called me misogynistic. And also on another video that I did, I was called misogynistic in the comments. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and address this. I don't hate all women. I think I said some things in that video that kind of rubbed some men the wrong way, who are Mighty Mouse and Supermen. Yeah, these Mighty Mouse Supermen men who came to the rescue and condemned me for bashing American women. And I'm going to say this. I don't hate women. And I'm not saying that all American women are bad. There's there's good women here in the United States and there's bad women here. There's good and bad. And I'm not a man who's going to put a certain gender on a higher pedestal and throw another gender under a bus. I'm not going to praise women and throw men under the bus. And I'm not going to praise men. And I'm not going to praise men. I am not going to praise men and throw women under the bus. I don't take sides. And I don't judge women based on their race. I judge them for who they are on the inside, not what they look like on the outside. And I do the exact same thing to men and women of different races. Because at the end of the day, I don't see white, black, brown, or any race. I just see people, and that's what I see. So to all of you men who come on this channel and call me misogynistic, I know you're not going to care what I got to say. You're going to keep calling me misogynistic. If you do that, I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you, delete your comment, and remove you from this channel. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. I got this out. All right. I got that out of the way. Let me get into this video. Okay, this is a standard, normal video. Nothing special. Just my voice, and I'm in the dark. Okay, I heard about Ukraine doing drone strikes on Crimea. Yeah, that's right. Ukraine is doing drone strikes on Crimea. And Crimea is part of Ukraine, and Crimea is under Russian control. Yeah, Russia has control of Crimea. And the war between Ukraine and Russia has been going on for quite a long time. I think it started back in 2023, I believe. I don't know, but Ukraine and Russia has been at war for like 2 or 3 years now. And I don't I think there's going to be a ceasefire with this war. I don't know. Um, and yeah, you got some critics out there who love to lie. They say that Ukraine started the war between it and Russia, which is a total fallacy, and that's not true. Russia started the war with Ukraine. And I feel for the people of Ukraine, and I feel for the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Yeah, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. And believe it or not, I did some research on Volodymyr Zelensky. He used to star on a comedy television show in Ukraine, and he was a comedian. I think he did all that before he got into like um running for president of well going on to become president of Ukraine. And Volodymyr Zelensky, he's doing his best to keep his country together and protecting his country against Vladimir Putin and Russia. And some I proposed this for Ukraine. And I think some people in Europe or Volodymyr Zelensky want this. I think Ukraine should be part of the EU. That's right, Ukraine should be part of the European Union. If Ukraine was part of the European Union right now, then Ukraine will be on its way to recovering and being built up. And plus, I think the Ukrainian troops need to fight hard to get Crimea back into the hands of Ukraine, because Crimea is a part of Ukraine that's under Russian control. That's right. And Ukraine should be part of the EU. If it's part of the EU, Russia or like, Vladimir Putin will never try to take over it. and make it part of Russia. And speaking of Vladimir Putin, I'm going to say this. I'm seeing Vladimir Putin attacking Ukraine with Russian troops. And I think Vladimir Putin is doing this to defeat Ukraine and absorb it into Russia, and also absorbing other former Russian Soviet Union states into Russia, and making Russia the Soviet Union again. Yeah, he wants to bring back the Soviet Union, SSR. Yeah, Vladimir Putin wants to bring this back, bring this super country back by absorbing all the former Russian Soviet Union states along with Ukraine to form the Soviet Union again. I think that's what Vladimir Putin wants. But I don't know. I mean, that's just how I see it. Because, then again, I mean, Vladimir Putin is a lunatic anyway. And he is. Because I saw him on a television interview, and he was like shaking and twitching. Yeah. And Donald Trump, the president of the United States, loves Vladimir Putin. I don't know, Trump loves him or not. I don't know. And Donald Trump, the president of the United States, is an idiot, and he is. He said Donald Trump said a lie about Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, saying that she was begging Trump for a photo op, and it turned out to be a lie. And Giorgia Meloni called out Donald Trump on his lie about her, and she put him in his place. So he deserved that. Because, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, always opening his mouth and shooting his mouth off. Yeah. Going back to Ukraine and Russia, I think Ukraine can beat Russia by this. I think Ukraine should take something from Russia. Okay, Russia took Crimea from Ukraine, so Ukraine can take something from Russia. Yeah. Russia took Crimea from Ukraine, so Ukraine can take something from Russia. And Ukraine can defeat Russia through this. Ukraine can invade a Russian exclave in Europe called Kungilograd. Yeah, Kungilograd Oblast. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, it's a Russian enclave. And if the Ukrainian troops go there and invade it and take over it and have it under Ukrainian control, then it will cripple Russia. Russia will be crippled. Russia will be hurt. And Kungilograd Oblast is a place where Russia has his ship, what do you call it, like Baltic Sea ships docked there. And if Ukraine take that away from Russia, Russia's doomed. And the war will be over. The war between Ukraine and Russia will be over. So that's how I see it. So that's yeah, and that's I think that will be a good idea for Ukraine to do that. I think Volodymyr Zelensky should look into this and try this. And to all of you who are watching this video, if you are Russian, if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm going to say this. If you're watching this on your computer screen or on a smart TV, or you listen to this video in podcast form, and if you're Russian and you watch, if you're watching or listen to this video through these options, leave a comment. I'll be very interested on what you think about my proposal of Ukraine defeating Russia by taking Kongilograd Oblast away from Russia and crippling it. Okay, yeah, and also there's a big heat wave in Western Europe, a heat dome, and this heat is felt in places like France and Spain. In France, people decide to buy air conditioning to keep cool in the scorching heat, and temperatures in places like Paris and Western France and also in Western Europe, temperatures got up to around like 30 to 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. That's like under like 100 degrees and over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And to all of you who don't understand metric, so I'm going to say this, 40 degrees Celsius is basically 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, that is scorching hot, blistering, fiery, lava hot, boiling hot, extremely hot. And this heat dome / heat wave is caused by climate change. Yeah, this is the climate crisis. And people in France have never seen anything like this. They never felt anything like this. Yeah, people like are staying indoors to keep cool. Some people are swimming in the river Seine in Paris. People are drinking plenty of water to keep themselves hydrated. And in previous videos on this channel, I talked about I wanted to move to France and live in France. And if I lived in France right now, I would do the exact same thing that the French people are doing. Buying air conditioning for my home, drinking plenty of water, going for a swim in the river Seine. Yeah, and doing all this just to keep cool. And I'll talk about the time difference where I'm at versus Paris, France. Okay, here in Liberty City, Texas, where I'm living at right now, it's after midnight. So it's early Saturday morning. In Paris, France, it's after 6 in the morning. It's morning time over there. It's Saturday morning over there, and it's early Saturday morning here. So I'm a couple of hours behind Paris, France in this video. So I'm going to bed, and everybody in Paris, France, and all of France are getting up to start the day. Okay, yeah, and they're keeping cool over there, and I feel for the people of France and Western Europe and all of Europe. I'm gonna say Western Europe and France. So I feel for these people, and I hope these people stay nice and cool. Yeah, drink plenty of water. Yeah, get in the river and swim around the River Seine or any any body of water. Swim in a swimming pool. Yeah. So yeah, so I decided to do a video about what's going on in Europe. And I think I need to do more videos about Europe because, I'm tired doing videos about what's going on here in America because, here in the United States, this country is extremely boring, and it is. It's a boring country. I just can't believe how boring it is here. Very, very boring. Yeah. It's very, very boring. It is. Looking at Europe, I've been to Europe, and I have, and I went there. I went to Europe for the very first time back in 2017, July the 6th, 2017 was the day I went to Europe with my parents and my sister. We went to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We went to that country to get on board a cruise ship in Southampton, England, to sail from there to Belgium, Belgique, Norway, Germany, Deutschland, and France, République Française. And yeah, and speaking of France, I went to France. I went to the northern part of France. I went to Le Havre in the Normandy region of France, northwestern France. And it was a very beautiful city. Yeah, me and my sister walked through the city, and we ran into some people who spoke French. It was this lady who was selling stuff on the streets, and she came up to us and said something to us in French. And we didn't understand what she was saying, so we just ignored her and walked away because we didn't speak a lick of French. And I didn't speak a lick of French during that time, and all I knew was English. And all I knew was English in the imperial system. Now, I speak a little French, and I need to learn more French. And I have knowledge of the metric system. So I speak English, I speak a little French, very little, not a lot. And I know the imperial system and the metric system. So imperial and metric is just basically an option to me. So I came a long ways, and I think my knowledge of the metric system will help me out greatly in a country that uses the metric system. And I love the metric system. It's easy to understand. It's way better than the imperial system, which is very complicated and hard to understand. And I grew up around that system of measurements and units. Yeah, with the imperial system, when you do measurements, you got to do math, and you got to remember all that stuff you did in math. Yeah, and the metric system, there's no math required. And it just does all the math for you. Yeah, like for instance, 1 mile in metric is 1.6 kilometers. Yeah, 500 feet is 200 meters. 45 miles per hour is 70 kilometers per hour. Or I can say this, 75 miles per hour is 121 kilometers per hour. Okay, wind speed is like 66 kilometers per hour. And okay, I weigh 85 kilograms. Or kilos. 85 kilos or 85 or 84 kilograms / kilos. Yeah. Instead of getting gasoline by gallons at a gas station, you get it by liters in metric. So, enough of that. Yeah, Europe. Yeah, going to Europe for the first time, Europe was just a completely different continent. And it is. It was completely different from North America. The air was different. The weather's different. Like, how things felt there was different. Like, it was nothing like nothing like North America. And yeah, and I also went to another continent, Asia. I went to Asia. So the 2 continents that I went to outside of North America is Europe and Asia. I went to Asia for the first time back in 2023 on a Mediterranean cruise when I went to Turkey. Yeah, Turkey is a country that's located in both Europe and Asia. Okay, you got a tiny part of Turkey in Europe. Then you got the rest of the country in Asia. So I went to Asia through Turkey. And yeah, will I live in Europe one day? Will I live on that continent one day? It might be in the cards for me. It might not be in the cards for me. So I'm still pushing to move to Europe. I'm still pushing for this. I'm not going to give up. And before I end this video, I'd like to give a shout out to Jennifer of Creation with Jennifer, my long lost friend, Captain Brandon Horror Lover, a subscriber who subscribed to this channel, Freeze Dollar in the United Kingdom, and I hope he's doing it very well in the UK during this heat wave. I hope he's doing okay. And also I subbed to his channel, and I had a conversation with him in the comments on one of his videos about what will he do if he ran Cartoon Network. I might be a mentor to Freeze Dollar. And as I see, I think Freeze Dollar will be the brand new Manchester. I think he would. I think he'd be. I think. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think he'd be the new Manchester. He calls himself Freeze Dollar. I'm gonna say he's New Manchester 2.0. Yeah, looking at some of his videos. Yeah, he copied all off of the videos that I did on this channel. And I like his videos. I like the video that he did about the United States, like something reasons why it sucks, and I enjoyed it. That was a really good video, and I told him I liked it. And he told me this. Um, he told me this. Yeah, but this video is really old. Yeah, I know the video's old, but it's a really good video. So I'm aware of that. So that's all I gotta say in this video about what's going on in Europe. What's going on in that continent? And speaking of Europe, Europe and Asia, they both share a landmass. And you take Europe and Asia and you put them together, you come up with the supercontinent Eurasia. That's just Europe and Asia put together. And Europe and Asia, they share the same landmass. And this is reality. Like someone who lives in India, they can get in their car and drive all the way to France or the United Kingdom in Europe. And they can do this. Yeah, people can drive their cars back and forth between Europe and Asia. And and people can't drive their cars back and forth between North and South America. Yeah, because South Americans can't drive all the way to North America, and North Americans can't drive all the way down to South America. Yeah, because of the Darien Gap. Yeah, the Trans-Panamanian Highway, wherever you call it, wherever it's called. Yeah, the Darien Gap is between North and South America, and it's very dangerous, like poisonous snakes, and you have migrants who try to travel to the United States from countries in South America like Colombia, Venezuela, and others, and people go through the Darien Gap and they break their legs. They get bitten by snakes and they die. And it's a very, very dangerous place, and that's why no road isn't built through there to connect North America with South America. And and people in Europe and Asia don't have that problem. They can drive their cars between the two continents. Yeah, and also the Ural Mountains is also the boundary between Europe and Asia. I just want to say that. Okay, that's all I gotta say in this video. More videos to come. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir. And have a nice night, day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world watching this video. All right. Goodbye. Bonsoir. Good evening. I said it all wrong. Okay. Anyway, au revoir. Goodbye. Merci.